Good evening, everyone. I'm Aparna from the team of the Nature Side, and I welcome you all to the webinar on vulture ecology and conservation. The Nature Side, powered by Wildlife Arc, is a group of nature enthusiasts who wish to share their knowledge and experience with the world. They strive to bring informative and educational content from the tiny living world to the city dwellers. Their motto is to empower environmentalists by creating opportunities not only for budding environmentalists, but also the people related to this field and also the ones who want to join in through their various offline and online programs. The Nature Sci works on bridging ecology and economy. We highly appreciate working with ecology and nature enthusiasts who wish to bring change by spreading education and awareness. Today's session is one such attempt, and we have a number of such events in the line as well. Now, coming towards our event, today we will look into the world of vultures to understand their ecology and conservation. For this, we have with us our speaker, Mr. Sourabh Ruhela. Mr. Sourabh is currently associated with India's oldest NGO, Bombay Natural History Society, working as a senior education officer in Satpura Landscape Tiger Program. Previously, he was working as a conservation biologist in Vulture Conservation Program. He completed his master's dissertation work at the Wildlife Institute of India, Dehradun, and worked on the conservation physiology of tigers and leopards. He has completed his post-graduation in life sciences from the Central University of Gujarat, Gandhinagar. It is an honor to have you here with us, sir. Before I hand over the session to our speaker, I request all the participants to keep yourselves muted when not speaking so to avoid any disturbance during the session. And if you have any queries, we encourage that you ask directly or you can type it in the chat box and we'll take up all the questions by the end of the session. Thank you once again and over to you, sir.
One second.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. First, let me share my screen, then I'll start. Okay, one second.
Yes, sure.
Is my screen visible?
It's showing that you've started sharing the screen, but your screen is not visible.
Okay. Don't know, maybe there is some network problem.
Stop sharing and then share once again.
Okay. Sorry, can I take 5 minutes? I will join with my phone, and that will be like maybe that will be the best thing
Okay,
to do
sure.
right
Yeah, sure.
now. Yeah. Hello.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what is the problem in the screen sharing thing. So can I start without sharing screen? Is that fine?
Um, yeah, sure. That so would you need to share later on, or
Like I'm trying, but I don't know what's the problem.
so you can share the PPT with me, and then I can share my screen. Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. One
So I'll type my email in the chat box. You can share there.
Aparna, sir, you
Yes.
can share your PPT with me, and I can share it with Aparna. And
Okay,
meanwhile, you can start with the introduction. And yeah, in the meantime, Aparna will start sharing her screen. Is that okay?
okay. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great.
So I sent the PPT to Nishta. So once she get the PPT, she will like send it to you. And meanwhile, I will start. So my name is Sourabh Ruhela, and like I thank the Nature Side team for inviting me for the on this great day, the Vulture International Vulture Awareness Day, to like aware all of you regarding the vultures and their importance. So the points that I will cover today is how many vulture species are found in India. First thing. Second thing, what is the cause of vulture population decline? Because there was a time on which there are like millions of vultures. There are 40 million vulture in India, but right now we have like few thousands are left. So what are the main reasons of the decline? Third thing, what are the conservation efforts which put by different NGOs, especially BNHS and different NGOs and the government to conserve the vultures? And fourth thing, why vultures are important, what are their interesting facts, and how we can put the effort to conserve the vultures. So once uh, the screen has been shared by the team, I will start. Uh, is my screen shared?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I'll start once.
Okay.
Uh, shall I start?
Yes, sir, you can.
Sorry for the delay. I don't know what's the thing here. Actually, I will live in remote area, so maybe there's some network issues. So I will start.
Yeah, please do.
So what are vultures? So vulture is a bird of prey that scavenges some carrion. So what are carrion? Carrion are the dead and decaying matter which lay down on the ground. And vulture are very important for all of us and for our nature because they eat this carrion and like make the hygiene of the environment, make like clean the environment. And because they clean the environment, due to that, the spread of the disease it will reduce and it will help the other wild animals because if the like if there is a carrion on the ground and it will rot, so it have potential to like spread disease in the whole world. Uh, and the common name is the vulture. The belongs to kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Avis, order Accipitriformes, and in terms of family, they divided into two classes, like old world vultures and new world vultures. And according to their appearances, they are divided so. So the old world vultures are belongs to Europe and Asia. That's called Eurasia and Africa, and they belongs to family Astripitridae. They are the birds of prey family, especially belongs to eagle, hawk, and all. And the New World vultures are reside in America, and the family known as Cathard. So the Old World vultures comprise of 16 species, and New World vulture comprises of 7 species. So total there are 23 species found in the wild. So there are some special physical characteristics of vulture. So like the vultures hover very high in the sky, we all know. So for that, they have very like sharp, powerful eyes to locate the food. And the second is they have strong beak to tear apart the carcass. And in India, we have 9 vulture species. So out are resident of India and 3 are winter migrants. So the as you see the pictures, long-billed vulture, the white-back vulture, slender-billed vulture, bearded vulture, king vulture, and Egyptian vulture. These 6 are residents of India. And the 3 vulture species, that's it, Himalayan vulture, Cinereous vulture, and Eurasian griffon vulture, are winter migrant. So vulture have very like close contact with each other. Like on their food habits, each vulture is depend on others. How it is? Because like if we have a carcass in the wild, so first the vulture, like the cinereous vulture and king vulture, tear apart the outer skin of the carcass because each and every vulture does not have potential to tear apart the carcass by itself. So these two vultures, cinereous vulture and king vulture, have very strong beak. So if they tear apart the carcass, and the gyps vulture, the like if out of the 9 vulture species in India, we have 5 vultures which belong to genus gyps, and 4 vultures are monotypic. And the gyps vultures eat the tissue of the carcass. So after tearing apart the carcass by the cinereous and king vulture, this gyps vulture eat the softer part of the softer tissue part of the carcass. The bearded vulture eat especially the bone and bone marrow of the carcass. And one special thing about bearded vulture is when the bearded vulture found a larger bone, which he know they doesn't eat by themselves. So what they do, they hover high in the sky, put bone with themselves, and locate a rocky terrain, and like throw bone on that rocky terrain, so it can be like the bone divided into 2 or 3 pieces, smaller pieces, and they will eat that. The Egyptian vulture eat the tendons, the remnant of the carcass. So after all vulture eat the carcass, the remaining part eat by the Egyptian vulture. We study the distribution of vultures in India. So first, we have the white drum vulture. They are spread all across the India, but especially they found in the middle central India. And if we look for their nest preference, so they prefer trees, especially like larger and taller trees for make the nest. So their nest will be like protected from the predators. Second is Indian vulture. So Indian vulture, they make their nest in rocky terrains, especially hills area, and they mostly concentrated to the central India part of. You barely found any long-bill vulture in the upper like north or northeast region, or even in the Tarai region. The slender-bill vulture, uh, the slender-bill vulture is the slender-bill vulture is the rarest vulture, and sadly, I can say that there are only 1,000 or less than 1,000 birds are there in the wild in India. Fourth is the Himalayan griffon vulture. So, vulture is not the resident of India. It is a winter migratory bird, and it mostly reside in the Himalayan ranges. And here you can see in the image, you mostly found them in the colder region, the Himalayan regions. And they make nest in rocky terrain itself. The Eurasian griffon vulture, they are also winter migratory, but you can find Eurasian vulture in the central region or Terai region also. They also make nest in the rocky terrains. The Egyptian vulture, you can find Egyptian vulture throughout the India. And they are less in the northeast region and the upper north region of India. But in central India, South India, you easily find them. And they are very interesting because they make nest in rocky areas also. They make nest on tree also. And when I was working in UP, I also found approximately 10 nests of Egyptian vulture on mobile towers, approximately at height of 60 to 100 feet. The red-headed vulture. They are also very less in numbers. You mostly found red-headed vulture in the central India region, and they also make nest in the on the trees. And in year 2007, like in year 2002, the three gyps vulture species, that is whiteback vulture, longbill vulture, and slenderbill vulture, are considered as critical endangered and categorized as critical endangered by IUCN. And in year 2007, the red-headed vulture was also categorized critically endangered by IUCN. The cinereous vulture in local language, we also call it the taku gib. Why is it so? Because when the cinereous vulture approaches the carcass, all other vultures ran away. So you found cinereous vulture in the central region also, but as they are winter migrant, so you found them in the Uttarakhand part, the Rajasthan part. The bearded vulture, they only reside in the upper north region of India, and you barely found them in the northeast region, and you cannot find them in central India region. They also make nest on these rocky terrains, the hills. They sometimes you also encounter the nest with like on trees also. Uh, so there was a time before 1990, 1980, there are a huge number of vultures, approximately 4 vultures found in India. Sometimes they are considered as desert to aircrafts also. After year 1990, the vulture population was decreased drastically. So in year 1996 and 1997, some media groups reported this kind of decrease. So Bombay Natural History Society like do a do a rapid survey in Colorado National Park at Bharatpur in Rajasthan. And after the survey, the result was very shocking because they recorded the huge decrease in the vulture population. Hello?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So here is the table. This is from a paper. Here we can observe, like here we can see there is a decreasing trend of vulture population in different surveys. So in year 1990, from year 1992 to 2007, you can see here in 1992, the population of just which is white-back vulture, the population was approximately 21,000 in number. And in year 2007, it was only 31, only 31 birds in the white. And this trend go for all gyps vultures, all the three gyps vultures. And for year 2002 or before year 2000, the gyps indicus and gyps teneris trials, that is the long-bill vulture and slender-bill vulture, are considered as a single vulture. But after year 2000, both the vulture categorized as different species. Due to this decrease trend in year 2002, the three chiefs vultures categorized as critically endangered by ICM. According to based on the latest survey carried out in 2015 and the result published in 2017, there were about only
Yes, sir. I think he's trying to reconnect. Just give us a few minutes. Sir, you're on mute, so we can't hear you.
hello.
Yes, sir.
So as I was saying, based on the latest survey carried out in 2015 and the result published in 2017, there were about 6,000 white-wing vultures, 12,000 long-wing vultures, and only 1,000 slender-wing vultures remained in the wild. So what is the reason of their sharp decline? Is that there is a drug called diclofenac, which found extremely toxic to vultures and which cause renal failure in vultures. So what the diclofenac drug do? The drug cause the visceral gout, which is the accumulation of uric acid crystals in the tissue of vultures. And due to that, the vulture died with a very painful death. So what is diclofenac? It is an NSAID drug, which its full form is non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, which was given to cattle to treat their pain and inflammation. And the diclofenac is a very effective, cheap, and easily available drug. So that's why it is used very widely. And vulture exposed to diclofenac when they feed carcass of a livestock, which are contaminated with the residue of drug. And according to a study, it was hypothesized that only 0.8% of carcass out of all carcass that present in the wild, only 0.8%, if the 0.8% carcass is contaminated with the diclofenac drug, so it can be enough to describe this decreasing trend of vulture population throughout the 20 years. So due to vulture population decline, what is the consequences of vulture population decline? So carcass that frequently rot in open lead to an increased disease burden like anthrax, botulism, Lyme disease, typhus, scabies, bubonic plague, etc. And which also cause its associated mortality. And due to the vulture decrease, the carcass remain available as a food source to other animals, especially the feral dogs, and which can transmit rabies. And we all know that India has the highest rabies cases throughout the world. So what are the efforts made by different NGOs, BNHS, and other government agencies to protect the vultures, to conserve the vultures? So the South Asian Vulture Recovery Plan 2014 was drafted and incorporated in the Vulture Action Plan 2006 of Government of India. And also there was a ban on diclofenac drug in year 2006. After that, in the year 2008, there was also a ban on the manufacture, sale, and use of veterinary formulation of diclofenac. After there was ban on diclofenac on veterinary use, what people do, they use the human formulation of diclofenac drug and use them for their cattle. So this was also a very big problematic situation. So in year 2015, another gazetted notification was issued, and which indicated that there was restricting, they restrict the packaging size of human injectable formulation from 30 ml to 3 ml. There was a recent news that on July 2023, there was also ban on two drugs, aceclofenac and ketoprofen. Because other than diclofenac, three more drugs, that is ketoprofen, aceclofenac, and nimesulide, also very hazardous for vultures. So how one can identify this particular drug is safe for vulture, is not safe for vulture? So for that, there was a study on Gyp africanus vulture in South Africa, because we cannot do testing on the Indian vultures because they are already very less in numbers. So there was an initial toxicity testing of different drugs on Gyp africanus. Out of which there is one drug called meloxicam, and the meloxicam was found safe to vultures, while diclofenac, ketoprofen, aceclofenac, and nimesulide was found hazardous to vultures. And after the testing occurred on Gyps africanus, another testing was on Gyps vulture, Asian Gyp vulture at VCVC Pinjore, Haryana. And no adverse drug reaction was observed for meloxicam on Indian vultures too. And according to a recent study by VNHS and IVRI, Indian Veterinary Research Institute, Bareilly, a second drug named tolfenamic acid was also found safe for vultures. So these are the conservation efforts made by the government and different NGOs to stop the drug and on the drug basis. But what are the conservation efforts we can put to conserve the vultures on the field basis? So due to that, there was a program named Vulture Conservation Breeding Program was initiated in India by Bombay Natural Research Society with immediate effect from 2014. So in the Vulture Conservation Breeding Program, there were two things. First, to establish vulture conservation breeding centers where we can breed vultures. And second, there are vulture safe zones They are the research part because in the safe zone, the team do various tasks to the team do various tasks uh, in between like in inside a region to create a region which are safe for vultures. So after the program initiated, 8 vulture conservation breeding centers established, out of which 4 are controlled by Bombay Natural Society and 4 are maintained by CZA, that is Central Zoo Authority. So in Pinjore, Haryana, Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, Rani, Assam, and Rajabagh, West Bengal, these 4 centers are managed by Bombay Natural Society. And Junagadh, Gujarat, Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh, Nandangaon, Odisha, and Ranchi, Jharkhand, these 4 are managed by CZA. So what is the objective behind to establish the Vulture Conservation Breeding Center? So the objective is to establish a founder population of 25 pairs, each of 3 whiteback vulture, longbill vulture, and slenderbill vulture. And after like establish the founder population, the agenda is to produce a population of at least 200 birds in 15 years of each species, so that we can release them into wild and increase the wild population of vultures. And also, there is a small agenda behind the vulture establishment of vulture conservation breeding center is to rescue injured wild resident gypsy vulture, because already they are in very less number. So it's very essential and important to rescue the wild injured vultures. So the third agenda is to rescue injured wild resident gypsy vulture and include them in the ongoing conservation breeding program after recovery. So these are the different facilities that is required in a vulture conservation breeding center. So the center should be in an area of 5 acres, which is a forest land. Second, the center contains various type of aviaries, which I will describe later in my PPT. Third is the center required a laboratory for various testing on vultures. Second is the center required a veterinary section to to rescue and to give treatment to injured vultures. Third is a artificial incubation room is required. What is the use of the artificial incubation room? There is a method called double clutching. So I will explain that method method later in my slide. So third is the artificial incubation room is required, and fourth is CCTV monitoring room. So that each vulture keeper can monitor approximately 10 to 12 hours, uh, monitor 10 to 12 hours vulture. So what kind of aviary is required in conservation breeding center? So first is the quarantine aviary. What is the use of quarantine aviary? So these quarantine aviaries are used to quarantine vultures which are rescued from the wild, or which are if we transfer vultures from one center to another. So these aviaries are required to put the vultures in quarantine aviary for at least 21 to 30 days. Second, there is the nursery aviary in which the juvenile vultures are kept. Third is the holding aviary. This is the multi-purpose aviary. Fourth is the colony aviary. This is the main aviary in which all if I have 40 vultures with me in the center, so I will all 40 vultures in the colony aviary. There they can reside like a family. Fifth is the breeding aviary, in which if we want to put 1 or 2 pair of breeding pair inside a aviary, so breeding aviary work there. Sixth is the hospital aviary, which used for the rescue vulture as well as injured vultures. Seventh is recovery aviary. So after treatment, the vultures were put in the recovery aviary for the further recovery of that vulture. And eighth is the display aviaries. These aviaries are display aviaries are used for the visitors in the vulture conservation breeding centers. So here is a picture of artificial incubators, like cylindrical type of instrument. So these instruments are used to incubate vultures' eggs. So vultures are very slow breeders. They only lay a single egg in a year. Okay, but in an extremely different condition, if the vulture if a vulture lay the egg and the vulture lost the egg, so on that condition the vulture can lay another egg. So here's the technique that was introduced in the vulture conservation breeding center, that the vulture lay a single egg. The vulture keeper, after that the vulture keeper removed that egg from their nest. So the vulture thought his egg is lost. So and that condition the vulture lay another egg, and the egg that was removed by the vulture keeper, the egg was put it in the incubators for 2 months. And like by the different processes like candling, regular monitoring, the egg was incubated, and after hatching, the the babies were fed by the vulture keepers only, and after they get like 2 months or 3 months, they were put it in the nursing area. The second thing is of the vulture conservation breeding program, the vulture safe zones. So they are the sites which we want to make special for vultures, like very protected for vultures. How we can make a site protected for vultures? So in that site, there is no use of diclofenac, first thing. And second thing, there is enough food for the vultures. And third thing, there is a proper habitat available for vultures. So these are some key points which we are looking for us to establish a vulture safe zone. So after different surveys, there are 8 potential vulture safe zone sites we found. That is in Gujarat, Saurashtra. That is in central Gujarat. One is in Uttarakhand. One is in near Dudhwa National Park, Uttar Pradesh. One is in near Katanagar Wildlife Sanctuary, Uttar Pradesh. Six is in Jharkhand. Seven is in Assam, and 8 is in Madhya Pradesh in the Bundelkhand region. So here are some points ki how we can contribute in vulture conservation. So we can sensitize the people and society, especially villagers, regarding the vulture importance and how they can like help conserving vultures, because like they are the people who use like who do the cattle thing. So they can talk to the veterinarians and give them description about okay, this kind of medicine can cause harm effect to vultures, so we can use this kind of medicines. And second thing is we can sensitize people who work at medical stores regarding ban on vulture toxic drugs, because uh, sometimes the people doesn't know okay, this kind of notification released by the government, so they doesn't know and they sell the uh, harmful drugs which like cause harmful effect to the vultures. So we can sensitize them too. And we can also talk with children about vulture and their importance, because nowadays many of children doesn't know about anything about vulture, as they do not see vulture in their life. So we can do that thing too. And here are some interesting facts about vultures. So a vulture stomach acid is significantly stronger and more corrosive than that of other animals or birds. So the stomach acid pH of vulture is pH 1, and due to that, it helps preventing vulture from various microorganisms and diseases that was available in the carcass. Because vulture have weak feet and legs, they do not carry prey back to their chicks. Instead, they store food in their crop to feed their young. Third is, when vultures sense fear, they vomit their food in their defense. Fourth is, vulture pee on their legs to cool themselves in hot condition and also to avoid the microbial infections. Vulture only lay single egg in a year, and therefore they are very slow breeders. And in a span of 3 months, a baby vulture looked like an adult as they grew very fast. Thank you for listening. And if you have got any questions, you can ask.
No.
Hello.
Audible?
Yes, you are.
I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
I just want to know, is there any vulture species which is ecologically more important than others?
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You
Okay, okay. So, like each and every vulture species is very important. But right now, the problem are with the gyps vultures. Why is it so? Because they eat the soft part, the soft tissue of the carcass, and the most like the soft tissue contains the highest amount of drug that was injected when the animal is alive. So right now it is very important to conserve the gyps species of vulture because they are very prone to the hazardous this hazardous trafficking.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So there's a question from Shakti. Which methods we use for assessment of vulture population?
Okay, so what we use in the vulture safe zone is first is the road transit service. So in road transit service, what we do, we design a transit route and we go on that route and estimate what like different vultures we encountered throughout the survey. And after the encounter, after we encountered, we list the vultures. We list these vultures we encountered at what site, at what like if they are sitting, they are flying, they are perching, or they have like is there an RNA nest in that particular like area. And then we use the estimation part is we determine the encounter rate. Okay, so how many vultures we encountered with, and using two or three formulas, we estimate the population density of the vulture population in that particular area. And second method is to the nesting colony survey method, in which we first like doing various surveys, we first encountered with a nesting colony because vulture make nest in cluster, like 10 or 15 vulture make nest in a single area. So the second method is nesting colony survey method. So we'll go in that area, regular monitoring that area and determine how many nests are there, how many chicks are there. So these are the two methods.
So next question is, any reintroduction in the wild yet?
Yes, like in Pinjore, there are two or three reintroduction program was there. And recently, we are doing like day after tomorrow, we are releasing two or three vultures in the wild. And there is one MOU that will be signed by VNHS and Pench uh, Forest Maharashtra. And they will release the vultures that are present in the Pinjore in the Pench Tiger Reserve. So in like next 2 or 3 months, they will release approximately 20 vulture in the Pench Tiger Reserve.
Next question is from Anaka. So she's asking, are vultures not found in South India? Why are the vulture safe zone centers only in Central, East, and North India?
Mm. Vultures do found in South India, like red-headed vulture, especially. You found red-headed vulture in Karnataka region, and the white-back vulture you found, the Egyptian vulture you found. But like the safe zone part is, I exactly do not have like the exact answer why there is no safe zone in the southern part. But we like do encounter vultures in southern.
Next question is from Yashraj. What are the efforts or programs currently taking place in Maharashtra in order to protect and conserve vultures in Maharashtra?
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
Yeah, so Yashraj is asking, what are the efforts or programs currently taking place to protect and conserve vultures in Maharashtra?
Okay. Like we have approximately 500 vultures in Pinjore region in Vulture Conservation Breeding Program Breeding Center Pinjore. Okay. So right now VNHS is thinking to release some of their vultures. So one of the site is like one side is Rajasthan, one is Madhya Pradesh, and third is Maharashtra. So because the vulture population of Maharashtra is too low, so we also like select Maharashtra for this thing. In Pench and Melga Tiger Reserve, the vultures are released and they are properly monitored by a team. So maybe in future the vulture they reside in the French tiger reserve and they will form the nesting colony so that like a vulture population will be established in Maharashtra.
Okay. Next question is from Rajdeep. He's asking that nowadays most of cows, buffaloes, or other animals, if they die, they are buried in the ground. So in this situation, what are the feeding preferences rather than the carcass?
Okay, like vultures can eat anything, any carcass they can eat. Like in wild, we don't know which animal is that, but like like in our areas, what we reintroduced is we introduce the vulture restaurant thing. What is the vulture restaurant thing? Vulture restaurant is a area like let's assume it's a 40 into 100 square feet area in which what the people do, they put their carcass like if like there is a goshala, and near that goshala we create a vulture restaurant thing. So the cattle die in the goshala. After proper monitor by a veterinarian, we put that particular carcass of cow or buffalo in that vulture restaurant area. So the vulture can easily come there and eat. And in terms of villagers, they have like notification from the government itself to bury their dead carcass, because right now they are very like if they throw the carcass in open, they are very prone to have like diseases like anthrax or botulinum or something.
Next question is from Abhishek. Is the population of vultures decreasing throughout the world, or the problem is only in India?
No. Vulture decreasing, like the problem is throughout the world, especially the Vulture Conservation Foundation in Europe. They are doing also very great thing to conserve their vultures. They have like four vulture species: uh, bearded vulture, Egyptian vulture, Cinereous vulture, and Eurasian griffon vulture. So they are also doing very like tough effort to conserve them. And in India, we are also doing many things to conserve the vulture. So this thing is with each and every like place, the problem is the same, but the problem especially affect the gyps vultures, because the vultures who eat soft tissue part, they are like high, like they are more prone to the diclofenac hazard effect as compared to other vultures.
Okay. Next question is from Rajdeep. What is the best time when vultures can be found, like early morning or the whole day?
Like vultures, the best time is like between 11 to 1 when they soar and in search of food. So what we do when we were doing surveys, if we want to like count the vultures, we go in time near like 11 to 1. In the time they soar high in the sky and look for the food.
Okay. The next question is from Palivela. Are vultures solitary or social?
Vultures are kind of social, but they are very shy. Like uh, they are very shy kind of bird. So they live in groups, but when like they see competition, like there are 5 or 6 species of vultures eating together, so they fight very like brutally.
Okay. So that was all the questions that were there in the chat box. If anybody has any other questions, you can unmute yourself and ask, or you can type it in the chat box. Okay, so we have another question from Yamini. If we want to work in vulture conservation, how can we apply?
Okay, so Abhi, recently there were many positions was there in like BNHS side for for field assistants, especially to monitor the release vultures. So the BNHS have planned to release many vultures. So they want some good guys, good assistants to monitor the remaining like the vulture population, the like इन vulture को छोड़ा जाएगा उनको मॉनिटर करने के लिए उनको अभी चाहिए. तो अभी रिसेंटली तो वो खत्म हो गया, पर अभी वेटनरियन के पोस्ट निकले हुए हैं बीएनएचएस में. सो इफ देयर And is there a veterinary doctor who want to apply? Who can apply?
Okay, thank you so much for that. So if there are any other questions from the participants, you can type them in the chat box or you can unmute yourself and ask. We'll wait for 5 minutes if there are any other questions. Otherwise, we'll wrap up the session. So Palivela is asking, what are the prey-predator relationship if exists?
Prey-predator relationship. Like in terms of vultures, so vultures usually eat a dead animal. But sometimes what happens if they do not locate any food, any dead carcass? So what they do, they also look for any injured animal. So if they found any injured animal, so they also attack in groups on that animal. So this is very rare thing we found, but they can.
So Ravindra is asking if you could share your contact information for future questions if they have any.
Okay, okay. So I will give my presentation. Oh, sorry. I will give my email ID to the nature side team. They already have that even. Like
Yeah.
they will share with you, so you can ask me on email.
Okay, so I'll share the email ID in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah. And the thing is, like I'm really sorry to all the participants and the nature side team because actually I live in near Tadova Andheri Tiger Reserve in like it's more remote location called Chimod. So I have very bad network connectivity here. So
That's fine, guys. Like we understand because most
yeah,
of us, I think, we have worked in remote areas, so we understand the network issues.
yeah. Hmm.
So next, Rajdeep has another question. Before we get into any permanent position, if you want to learn how to monitor or count them, is there any workshop or volunteer opportunity?
Workshop or volunteer opportunity right now, it is not there, but you can like there are contractual positions where you can work in BNHS or like right now there are many NGOs who like they are working on vultures. Like before there was only BNHS who was working on vultures, but right now there are many NGOs who are working on vultures. So you can directly contact the scientist. Here, I want to work and I want to learn how to count vultures, how to like on the behavior ecology of vultures. So they will definitely encourage you. They will definitely invite you to work with them because each and every scientist I think require the manpower and
Thank you so much for that. So I think we have covered all the questions from the participants.
mm,
So okay, so I would like to wrap up this session now by giving our vote of thanks to our distinguished speaker. On behalf of the Nature Sci, I would like to thank you for the excellent session and making this such an interesting one. So thank you so much, Sourabh sir, for such an insightful session. And it's a great honor
thank
to
you.
have you here with us and to have you speak on vultures on uh, on Vulture's Day as we are celebrating it today. Thank you so much for that. And
Yeah,
thank you to all the participants as well for joining in and being so interactive throughout the session. Thank you so much, everyone.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so one request before we leave, if you all are comfortable, can I request you to switch on your camera so we could have a group screenshot for today? anybody who is comfortable can switch it on, and we'll just click a picture for that. Okay, so I'll click the picture now. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us today. I hope you guys could join our other events as well. You can visit our website, thenatureside.com, for our upcoming events if you're interested in similar topics. And thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.